Hi Stephen.
Tony.
Any more injuries or any squad update news first of all?
Yeah, the squad update would be Seamus Coleman's ruled out. He's obviously come in with the injury he had at the end of the season, his groin injury, so he's ruled out and has left the camp, so he's out. He's ruled out the games. John Egan is ruled out as well with ankle injury, and we've 1 or 2 late fitness tests on 1 or 2 players, but hopefully everyone else will be okay.
And do you feel the third game you need to freshen things up anyway?
Yeah, no, we definitely do need to it was such an open game the other night. It was the physical data was extremely high on the demands of the players. I'd say both teams really, it was such a stretch game, and the demands of the game were huge on the players. So we will definitely freshen the team up for tomorrow.
The games were tight, but unfortunately didn't go our way. But do you feel that the extra pressure now, because going into a third game, if you lose, there'll be further criticism?
No, I don't feel pressure. I think only internal. Disappointed that we've not got points on the board, and professional pride. Certainly I feel disappointed with that we don't have points on the board. I thought in the game against Ukraine, I felt every player gave absolutely everything in themselves. They gave every ounce themselves, and we could have maybe made better of opportunities in the final third when we broke 3v3 a few times or 4v4. We didn't quite get the right pass. I couldn't get create the chances that we wanted to create, but we went through the game without conceding one chance in the game, apart from right at the death in the 95th minute on the counter. Ukraine were a good team, restricted to sort of just long range efforts. So it was a very, very tactical game. It was very physically demanding for both teams. There was an element of teams. It was pretty even, but we they controlled midfield quite well. But we had most of the play. On the night we had most of the play. When you watch it back, even certainly with most of the play on the night. But obviously we didn't get the clear cut chances that we would have wanted.
Thank you.
Can I have one, please?
Hi Stephen, what can you do to change things, you personally?
What can I do? Yeah, well, I think we're just going to get ourselves ready. Obviously there's changes in the team. People who are regulars, the Matt Doherty, Seamus Coleman, John Egan's missing tomorrow against Scotland. So it's opportunities for other players to come in and make their claim. I think the atmosphere in the team is always good. Like, there's a good attitude. We're just disappointed that we haven't got points, and I think we've lost 2 games without hardly conceding a chance in the games. In the 2 games. So I thought the back three tonight, Duffy, Nathan, Collins, and Egan, were really on top of their opponents, and I think Ukraine had a really good, really good midfield too, and played well on the night. But we're going into the game against Scotland tomorrow with a home crowd. We know that it'll be a passionate home crowd. We know that Scotland are have been on a great run of results apart from their game against Ukraine. We know that they've got a strong squad, but from our point of view, it's a full house, and we want to go and try and win the game. That's what we want to try and do. We're at home with a passionate crowd, and we want to be positive in our approach as we have been, and we just want to be better in the final third than we have been.
You obviously going to make changes personnel, but in terms of tactics, after 2 defeats, do you rethink tactics, or do you have to stick with what you believe in despite the results?
Well, there's a difference between tactics and style of play. The style of play won't change. We're committed to that regardless. But tactically, we always have to adapt tactically. We always have to adapt tactically. That's a different question. Yeah.
And just a quick word on Callum Robinson. When he's good, Ireland are good and look a threat. Will he be better for the 2 games, or do you feel he needs a rest now?
Well, one of the things I'm not going to do is really discuss my team selection. I think that would be wouldn't be the wisest thing to do as a coach. Callum's been you know, a good player for Ireland, and you know, in the last, had a very, very good calendar year, and so I wouldn't be too critical of Callum.
Joe, please.
Hi, Stephen. How are things?
How you doing?
In the last 2 games, you've had loads of possession, as you said, and you've said that you need to be better in that final third, but no goals in 2 games. Specifically, what are you going to be working on to improve on that?
Well, again, that's a question. That's a question in relation to how the team will set up and how we're going to work on breaking down the opposition. That's not something you'd probably discuss in a pre-match press conference, but certainly I respect the question. But it's obviously not something that we're going to discuss publicly. I think, to be honest, with the 3-day turnaround and such a tight schedule, you're not doing an awful lot of work in 2 days, in relation to, but we with fresh legs, and we have other players who are willing to come in and make their mark, and that's the nature of it. I think we have some players who are fresh, ready to go. We want that freshness to come into the team and give us energy, for the game, and that's what we want.
Is there cause for concern at all? Because you've looked forward like Shane jumping rapid across for the other night. Like, is there cause for concern for you that those goals aren't going in?
We had a good run where from March to March we scored 23 goals, and which is a really high amount for an international team. And then we've come up in the last 2 games, and we've come up short in front of goal. So it's that doesn't mean everything was wrong. Everything is wrong. Just miss. We haven't capitalised on the opportunities that we've been given. So we have to improve in that regard, and we have to make sure that we all work hard and believe in what we're doing and hit the back of the net.
Gavin, please.
Stephen, has there been an element in the last 2 games of teams figuring you out? You lack that element of surprise maybe that you had during that excellent goal scoring run last year, and if so, how much of a challenge has that been?
Yeah, this year. Well, I think I don't think that's the case with Ukraine. I think that they played the system based on the players that they had available. So I don't think that was the case. I think obviously Armenia defensively did a job on us, and we didn't take the chances that we had on the night. So that was disappointing. I think, but against Ukraine, I couldn't have asked any more of the players. I was disappointed with Armenia coming out having to lose that game. We shouldn't be losing. But against Ukraine, even though we're disappointed to lose the game, of course we are. I felt every player gave absolutely everything of themselves. The level of effort was huge. The defending was good. The passing overall was good, and just that, we did create some chances, but not enough. But Ukraine are a good team. I know they had a lot of changes, but so have we. Not as many as they have, but all the players are good players, and it was a tough game.
Any further questions for the live? No, let's move.